Hello everyone, am I audible? Can you hear me? Hello everyone, can you hear me? We are on the channel Let's Crack NEET UG English. I'm just trying to check for the audio first. I can already see people who are live. Kalai, hi, hello, how are you? Sridhar is okay with us. Good morning, Sridhar. Is the audio clear? All right. What about others? Sridhar says yes. Kalai also says yes. Mahesh. Okay, Mahesh, are you attending this class for the first time? Good morning, Rahul. Polemy. This is, again, I'm seeing this name for the first time. Mahesh and Polemy. Today is my first day. Okay. Good morning, Hiren. Okay, so people are joining in, and those who are joining in late, I guess, okay, so I guess you were not aware that these classes are being conducted here. So how did you get to know about this? Polemy says first day. Very good. So how did you come to know about these classes of mine? Because today is the last day for this chapter, that is photosynthesis. And this is our 8th lecture. That means we have done 7 and we have completed the entire chapter in detail. So how come you got to know about the class so late? Because photosynthesis is one chapter in plant physiology from where every year in NEET at least 1, 2 or 3 questions are asked. John Singh also says started now. Okay, so just wanted to check. Okay, it was in my recommendations. That's how Hiren got to know about it. What about others? See, Manju is new name again. Good morning, Manju. So I'm just curious that how come some students are joining in so late? And if you're joining in now, how did you come to know about this class? Because I'm taking this class on this particular channel for almost 7-8 days now. Ansh Chabra, good morning again. Ansh is a new name for me. So before we start today's class, I'm just curious to know about these things. So you can let me know what is the reason for joining so late on this channel, and how did you come to know about it? Because today what we will be discussing is mainly doubts on this entire chapter of photosynthesis. And obviously if you have not attended this class, the earlier classes, I don't know how and what kind of doubts you have. And then I'm planning to have a quiz. I have certain questions for the students. So I'll put up the question for you, you answer it. If it is correct, well and good. If it is wrong, then we'll go over it. All right, so I guess whenever you get time, just message the thing which I was trying to find out. And as I told you, we'll be talking about the doubts. And before we get started with our regular class, let's go over the basic things which we talk about almost every day, that we are on Unacademy platform. Our channel is Let's Crack NEET UG English. This is the channel, or rather I would say only channel, where the complete lecture is pure English. And this is specially targeted to those students who are more comfortable in pure English rather than Hindi-English mix. And as there are new students who are with us today, this is something about me. I am Dr. Neela Bakore, your biology teacher. And those who have not installed this Unacademy learning app, they need to install it, because after the lecture, all those PDFs of the lecture, the slides, are available on the app. So for that you will have to install this app. Not only that, not only the PDF, you also get access to the live classes, the quizzes and everything. I'm sure you're aware of all these things by now. And not only my classes, but the classes which are conducted by the top faculty members, those are also available. And this is what I have been showing you for almost a week now. This is the old one, which will be obsolete from tomorrow. So you have only today, that is 23rd, to take the subscription plan with this price. And if you want to avail the 10% discount, don't forget to use this code so that you get that discount. So this is going to be the monthly plan subscription, but this is going to change from tomorrow. So from tomorrow, this is going to be the new pricing. For 1 month, it is going to be around 6,300. That is after 10% discount, and that will be available only if you use the code, that is Neela. Okay, let me just stop here, and then let me find out if there is any kind of doubt. So I'm waiting for the doubts, and then I'm going to put up the questions for you. Okay, so I'm waiting for the doubts, and in the meantime, the students who have joined today for the first time, they can just let me know whether they did this chapter photosynthesis on their own, and they can also ask in case if they have any kind of doubt. So first 5-10 minutes we'll spend for doubt solving in case if you have, and if there are no doubts, then we'll straight away start with the questions. So how many of you have doubt? And doubts come only or arise only when you read, if you study the chapter. So there are only two possibilities. If no doubts, that means possibility 1, you have not studied the chapter at all, or possibility 2 is that we studied it in such a nice and wonderful manner that there was absolutely no doubt. Hiren says, I cleared all my doubts from you yesterday. Okay, so this is about Hiren. What about others? We have been discussing doubts during the class, so that right there the doubts can be taken care of. But in case, okay, Kalai has a question. In non-cyclic photophosphorylation for PS1, reducing power is NADP required. Proton, it comes from photolysis of water and lumen, but you said stroma. Okay, let me read the question. In non-cyclic photophosphorylation for PS1, reducing power of NADP required protons. It comes from photolysis of water in lumen of thylakoid, but you said stroma. Okay, see, I guess there is a little confusion here. If you're talking about non-cyclic photophosphorylation, then we did like this. Okay, I'm drawing a rough thing. The electron pair gets excited. It passes through the electron transport chain. This is PS2, this is PS1, then again gets excited, primary electron acceptor, and then goes to NADP, right? And to replace the lost electron, photolysis of water takes place. It gives 2 electrons, 2 protons and half O2, right? Now these protons, they are in lumen, right? And because of these protons which are in the lumen, the concentration gradient is increasing. And these protons, when they come out in the stroma, they are the ones which are getting added to NADP. So whether you say it is coming from stroma, but how did they enter the stroma? They came out of the thylakoid lumen, and from where were they coming in the thylakoid lumen? They were coming from photolysis of water. So you say it from photolysis of water, or you just say that they are available in stroma. Okay, Kalai, is this clear? Is the explanation clear? Wafa Mir Bahar, ma'am, I am new one here, but I had doubts at the time. I was studying this chapter on my own. Can I ask you? Sure, you can. So ask questions wherever you studied, whether you studied from me or somewhere else. Dilip is asking gradient. Gradient is a level from higher to lower. This is called a gradient. It comes initially from thylakoid. It comes from the lumen of the thylakoid. See, there are protons in the stroma, but the new protons which are getting added, they are coming from the splitting of water, and the same protons come out and now remain in the stroma. Hiren, can I ask why we need 6 Kelvin cycle for 1 glucose? See, we don't need it. This is how it happens in the plant. Just to understand the cycle, we studied with 3 carbon dioxides or 6 carbon dioxides. Because what happens is, one RuBP accepts 1 carbon dioxide. And then we straight away made a 3 carbon compound. But there are many intermediate compounds which are short-lived, and then this 3 carbon compound also undergoes various pathways. So Kelvin cycle is not as simple as we have drawn or is given in NCERT. It is a complicated multi-intermediate step process. So this is how it takes place in plants. So for 1 glucose to be synthesized, 6 times the cycle has to take place. Okay, Kalai, so is it clear? When we say proton comes from water or from stroma, it means the same. Okay, so for Hiren also it is clear. And Wafa Mir Bahar wanted to ask some question. I have not heard that question yet. So message that question. No need to thank Hiren. This is my job to make things easier for you, and that's why I'm here. See, basically what happens is all that content, everything is available in books. Why do you need a teacher? You need a teacher to make that thing very simple for you to understand. Anyone who has any other question? Or shall we start with the quiz questions? I'm still waiting for the question from Wafa Mir Bahar. And there is a new student, Karan. So there are many new students who have joined today. Kalai, can any plant survive without photosynthesis? Obviously not. Can we survive without food? Because food or nutrition is required to generate energy, to give the building block, the same thing. Only thing is we depend on the food which is prepared by others. We are heterotrophs. Plants synthesize their own food. So without that, they won't be able to survive. So any kind of plant, be it a unicellular green alga, be it a tall plant, angiosperm, any plant, they have to perform photosynthesis. That is the only method by which their nutrition is available to them. Ferredoxin gives electron to NADP and it gets converted into NADPH. Ma'am, from where do these two hydrogen come? This is right there on your screen. See, the electrons which are moving starting from PS2 to primary electron acceptor, then all the electron transport chain, that is plastoquinone, cytochrome, plastocyanin, then here is ferredoxin. Ultimately the electron pair is given to NADP, but it also gets the protons, and these protons, they are available in the stroma. How did these protons come into stroma? There is photolysis of water which is taking place in the lumen of the thylakoid, and when the protons accumulate in the lumen from higher concentration, the protons come into the stroma, from lumen to stroma, and these are the same protons which are given to NADP so that a reducing power can be synthesized. Study only Mishra, we are very happy to have you here, ma'am, thank you. Kalai says okay. Hiren has one more question. Plants are only source by which we can fix atmospheric nitrogen to form organic compounds and maintain the carbon cycle. Is it a question or see, we are not talking about nitrogen cycle. We have one more chapter in plant physiology, that is mineral nutrition. Nitrogen is fixed. Plants are the only source by which we can fix atmosphere. Actually, plants absorb the usable form. Atmospheric nitrogen can be converted into usable form by microbes, symbiotic or free living, and then plants can use nitrites, nitrates or ammonium ion, and then they convert it into various amino acids and all. See, carbon cycle is a different thing. We are talking about only carbon fixation. Cycle would involve decomposition, decay and all those things. Even fossil fuel burning, that all will be included in carbon cycle. So, Wafa Mir Bahar, is your question answered? What is integral and peripheral membrane protein complex and antenna complex? See, if you're talking about a membrane protein, suppose this is the plasma membrane, there are peripheral proteins. I'm sure you remember the structure of plasma membrane. There is a phospholipid bilayer, and then there are proteins which are on the outer side. These are called extrinsic proteins. There are some proteins which are embedded in the phospholipid bilayer, and these embedded proteins are called integral proteins, internal proteins or intrinsic proteins, and these electron transport chain proteins are actually these proteins. So suppose this is the plasma membrane and here are these three proteins. Say this is plastoquinone, this is cytochrome complex, this is plastocyanin. So electron passes through them and they make the electron transport chain. And antenna complex, these are pigment molecules associated with proteins. They are also present in the membrane, but antenna complex is a collection of pigments mainly which absorb the solar energy. Dilip is asking organic matter. The carbohydrate, the mass which is produced, that is called organic matter. So they perform photosynthesis, they produce glucose, store it in the form of starch, they also make protein, they also make fats, and ultimately all these things which makes the mass of the body, that is actually the organic matter. Wafa Mir Bahar says, ma'am, the water splitting complex produces 4 electrons and 2 O2. See, if you see, the reason is you did not attend the class, that's why. Water splits, single molecule, 2 electrons, 2 protons, and we write half O2. Actually, half O2 is just one atom of oxygen. And we know it is molecular oxygen which is released. So what we do is we change it to 2 molecules and we get 4 pairs of electrons, 4 electron 2 pairs and 4 protons, and here we write O2. That is why there are 4 electrons. But if wherever you've seen 4 electrons, you must have seen that you're starting with 2 water molecules. I mean, how does it manage to escape from chloroplast? Oxygen, it diffuses out. It diffuses out from the cell to the cell to the cell, and through stoma it is going to come out. Okay, anything else? Any other question? So those who are asking these kind of specific questions, it indicates that you have gone through this chapter. Without reading the chapter, without going through it, such kind of specific doubts don't arise. So this is, I'm very happy that you have read the chapter. Kalai says LHC and reaction center are same. LHC is light harvesting complex. And light harvesting complex includes the reaction center chlorophyll and the accessory pigments. So we made that reaction center chlorophyll A, and along with it we made the accessory pigment. So this entire thing is called light harvesting. Harvesting is collection of something. So here these pigments, they are absorbing photons according to their capacity. Reaction center is that main chlorophyll that we are talking about. This is chlorophyll A, the reaction center chlorophyll. Okay, so are we done with the questions? Doubts rather? If yes, shall we start with the quiz questions? And during these quiz questions also, if somebody gives a wrong answer, we'll go over it. So that is going to be again revision of everything. Ma'am, about gymospores and agymospores, or gymospores and agymospores. That will be discussed in the next, or rather third chapter. For clearing my doubts, okay, all right. So spores are, we are not talking about the spores right now. It is only focused on photosynthesis. So if you have doubt on this particular chapter, then you can ask. How does accumulation of photosynthetic decrease? See, you know, it is a very simple thing. Have you been to McDonald's? If you see the counter, just behind those people who are at the counter, you find that there are some racks. And on these racks, the burgers and all those things are continuously getting added. So if there is one order, one burger is removed, one burger is added from the back end. If, suppose, the people buying the burgers decrease, so in the rack there will be 4, 5, 6 burgers accumulated. So from the back end, the new burger production is going to decrease. Same thing happens here. If the reserve material is more than what can be used up or stored, then the rate of photosynthesis is going to decrease. Sridhar is asking about the wavelength of light. Okay, Wafa Mir Bahar says, feeling excited for the quiz. Okay, last question. Sridhar has asked this question about the wavelength. The photosynthetically active radiation is in the visible band. So visible light, which we call the normal yellow light or the normal white light, which has Vib Gyore, these different wavelengths. And when these wavelengths are available to the plant, they are able to perform photosynthesis. Now, this is because the plants have pigments, and the pigments are able to absorb different wavelengths. For example, chlorophyll. So chlorophyll A, B, they are able to absorb wavelengths which are in the red band and in the blue band, and they reflect green. But when we talk of carotene, it absorbs somewhere in greenish band but reflects the red one. So this visible band of light or visible band wavelengths, those are the ones which are photosynthetically active radiations. Optimum temperature for C3 and C4 plants. Optimum temperature for C3 plants is somewhere around 24 degrees Celsius, because if it increases beyond that, it's normally 20 to 24 maximum. If it increases beyond that, it causes photorespiration. But for C4 plants, photosynthesis can take place even at a higher temperature, because RuBisco's behavior has been taken care of because of Kren's anatomy. But if temperature increases very high, even for C4 plants, stomata will close and the rate of photosynthesis will decrease. All right, so I guess the questions which you had have been taken care of, and now what we are going to do is we will start with the questions. Same thing, I'll show you the question, I'll wait for your answers, and then if the answers are correct, very good, otherwise we will discuss it. All right, so I'm starting with the first question. This is your first question. Start writing the answers A, B, C or D. The question says the first step in photosynthesis is excitation of chlorophyll by light, ionization of water, ATP synthesis, production of assimilation or assimilatory power. So what do you think is the correct answer to this question? This is just the first question. Reshma says A, Wafa Mir Bahar says A, Dilip says A, Hiren also A, Sridhar A, Kalai A. Very good. So this is the correct answer. I guess this is the very simple question which I had asked, right? So slowly and gradually I'm going to increase the difficulty level. Srinath also says A. So everybody got A, because unless and until photons are absorbed, electron gets excited, there is no reaction starting. Okay, this is good. Okay, ready for the next? So this is your second question. Photosystem concerned with reduction of NADP is. Start answering. Second question. What is the answer for the second question? Photosystem 1. That means your option is A. Okay. Mir Bahar has written option A, photosystem 1. Reshma says A, Kalai says A, Srinath says A. What about others? Hiren also says A. So I guess you have understood the question. We were talking about that complex which is associated with NADP. So here when we made that thylakoid, it was PS2 here, it was PS1 here, and here was that enzyme which helps in reduction, that is NADP reductase. Alright, so this is the correct answer. Very good. So far, excellent. Both the questions have been answered correctly. Now this is the third question. To reduce one carbon dioxide molecule in C3 cycle, assimilatory power needed is, what is required if you want to reduce one carbon dioxide? Okay, Srinath has said answer A. What about others? You know, you can also tell me that there should have been something else also in the options. Reshma says A, Kalai says A, Sridhar says A. How did you reach to this answer A? To reduce one carbon dioxide in C3, Hiren says don't remember. So then how come? Oh, answer is Srinath, Reshma, Kalai, Sridhar. How come you reached to this answer? How did you reach to this answer? Because I need to know the logic also, the logic by which you're reaching to the answer. Anyone who wants to share their logic, how did they reach to this option A, which says 3 ATP and 2 NADPH2s? Srinath says 2 cycles take place. Not clear. I have not understood your logic. Srinath, I did not get your logic. Why 2 cycles? Okay, anyone else who wants to share the logic? How did they reach to this answer? Okay, let me just give you the brief thing. Ananya also says A. See, correct answer can be by chance, or you may have read it somewhere. But to reach to an answer, the logic is also very, very important, because if few things are changed here and there, and if you have remembered that particular number, you're still going to take that correct option as correct. But your logic has to be correct. See, we said 6 Kelvin cycles required to synthesize one glucose molecule, and in these cycles there are 12 NADPH2s required and 18 ATPs are required. This is the requirement for 6 carbons. So if you're talking about 6 carbons to give you one glucose, you requiring 12 NADPH2 and 18 ATP, how much is required for one carbon? It will be 2 NADPH2s and 3 ATPs. This is how you reach to this answer. Is it clear now? Very good. Srinath says 18 ATP and 12 NADPH2. Perfect. This is the logic that I was talking about. So to reach to an answer, we need to know the logic. All right. This is our next question. Question number 4. Carbon dioxide acceptor and carboxylating enzyme in C3 plants are respectively. Hiren says it's clear now. Very good. Okay, answer the 4th question. Dilip says D, Rahul says B, Kalai says B. So there are two options which we are getting. One is B, other is D. Mir Bahar says B. Sridhar says B. Hiren says D. Okay, so there are two options which we have got so far. Carbon dioxide acceptor in C3 plants. Which is that molecule which accepts carbon dioxide in C3 plants? In C3 plants, carbon dioxide accepting molecule is a 5-carbon compound, that is RuBP. So if you remember, RuBP accepted carbon dioxide and we got the first stable compound, that was phosphoglyceric acid, and the enzyme which helps in carboxylation was RuBisco. So the molecule which accepts carbon dioxide acceptor is RuBP, and the enzyme is RuBisco. So this is our correct answer. So who gave D answer? Hiren gave D answer, and one more, Dilip also gave D answer. So now is it clear? This is the stable compound. We are talking about carbon dioxide acceptor. All right. Next question, 5th question. Glycerate, 3-phosphate or phosphoglycerate or 3-phosphoglycerate are same. Yes, Mir Bahar. Okay, Rahul says A in this 5th question. Inhibition of photosynthesis at high concentration of oxygen. Kalai says A. In yesterday's class only we talked about factors which affect the rate of photosynthesis, and that's where I've given you this name. Reshma says A. 3 of you have given the answer as A, Rahul, Kalai and Reshma. What about others? Sridhar says A, Mir Bahar says A. And why do you think the rate of photosynthesis decreases? When oxygen concentration is more. Sanjay says A. Warberg, that is right, it is called Warberg's effect. The answer is correct. But why is the rate of photosynthesis decreasing? Okay, Rahul has given the answer, that is due to photorespiration. Perfect. So decrease in the rate of photosynthesis when oxygen concentration increases is called Warberg's effect, and this is due to photorespiration. Alright, so this is clear. Now let us take the next question. Hiren, photorespiration, Sanjay also says very good. Okay, question number 6. During photorespiration or photorespiration occurs, there are 4 points given and you have to find the correct point for photorespiration. This is our question number 6. Photorespiration occurs. Sanjay has given the answer as D. Rahul says D. Photorespiration happens. Srinath, yes, okay, this is I think for the previous one, right? Manvendra Singh D, Kalai Mir Bahar D. Reshma also says D. Okay, let us see. Photorespiration, does it take place during daytime? Yes, because during daytime only this problem of higher temperature can take place. It takes place in C3 plants, yes, not in C4 because C4 have undergone adaptations. In cooperation with chloroplasts, peroxisomes and mitochondria, these are the three organelles which are involved in this process. So our answer should be all of these. Very good. So Hiren has given B. Why? All others said D. Hiren, why do you think it is B? In photorespiration, three organelles which are participating, they are mitochondria, peroxisome and chloroplast. And during daytime when the temperature is high, that is the reason, that is one reason why RuBisco is not acting properly. So the answer is all of these. What about plants which are on poles? See, which plant do you find on poles? North Pole, South Pole, which plant have you seen there? In extreme conditions. Can you name any plant? Because ma'am, during daytime photosynthesis causes production of oxygen due to water splitting and its concentration increases, and instead of carbon dioxide. Oh, this is the answer for your previous question, I guess. Here we are talking about which out of the three A, B, C are correct for photorespiration. And what you have said is right. But at the same time, temperature is also high, and that also results in photorespiration because RuBisco's behavior is going to change. See, Rahul, what happens on the poles, there are extreme conditions and there are normally phytoplanktons or the plants which can survive in extreme conditions. Only those plants are there, and they have undergone various kinds of adaptations to take care of these longer day duration or longer night durations. Alright, so this is clear now. Sixth one, let us take the seventh question. In C4 plants, mesophyll cells and bundle sheath cells are specialized to perform which process? And we are talking about C4 plants. So you have to answer in terms of C4 plants. Which process, which reaction takes place in mesophyll and which one takes place in bundle sheath? This is our seventh question. Srinath says B. In C4 plants, Manvendra also says B. In C4 plants, which reactions take place in mesophyll and bundle sheath? Mir Bahar says D. Rahul says B. Kalai says A. So here we have many options. We have B also, we have D also, and we have A also. We are talking about C4 plants. What happens in C4 plants? In C4 plants, there are adaptations. What are the adaptations? One is Krenz anatomy. And what is Krenz anatomy? This is mesophyll cell and this is bundle sheath cell. Hiren says B, Srinath says B, Reshma says A. This is mesophyll cell, this is bundle sheath cell. Why these C4 plants have Krenz anatomy? Because of RuBisco. RuBisco's behavior changes due to high temperature and high oxygen concentration. If you remember, here we said there are granule chloroplasts and here there are agranule chloroplasts. Granule chloroplast means there are stacks of thylakoid or grana, and if there are grana, that means light reaction will take place here. So here is light reaction. Then if you remember, oxaloacetic acid is formed, converted into malic acid. Malic acid is sent into bundle sheath. Here it dissociates into carbon dioxide and pyruvate, and then this carbon dioxide is accepted by RuBP in presence of RuBisco. So in mesophyll cells it is light reaction, and in bundle cells it is dark reaction. So your answer should be A. Reshma and who else? I think Alai. These two have given the answer as A. At higher temperature of which acts as oxygenase? RuBisco. Sonal has joined now. Thank you, Sonal. Okay, so are we ready for the next question? This is our question number 8. Agranule you know what, I just gave you the answer in the previous explanation. So let me see how many of you were attentive. Agranule chloroplasts are found in mesophyll of pea, bundle sheath of mango, mesophyll of maize, and bundle sheath of sugarcane. 8th. Answer is B from Rahul, D from Kalai, D from Srinath, B from Panchami. Srinath says D, Dilip says D. See, if I take you back to the previous slide, previous question, we made mesophyll cell and bundle sheath cell. And in front of bundle sheath cell, I wrote agranule chloroplast because only stroma and stroma lamellae are there and only dark reaction takes place. So, answer here should be D. Bundle sheath. Why mango cannot be the answer? Because it is a C3 plant and sugarcane is a C4 plant. So this dark reaction in C4 plants or in bundle sheath is a characteristic feature of only C4 plants. Okay, I can see a new name here, Millie. Hello Millie, answer is D. That's very good. So those who thought of something else, like Panchami has given B, but that is bundle sheath, but of mango. Mango is C3 plant. In C3 plants, this Krebs anatomy is not there. Shabika says, ma'am, please teach digestion and absorption in this channel tomorrow. See, I'm taking digestion and absorption on another YouTube channel which is also free, and that is Biology 101. So you can attend the classes there. Alright? Okay, next question. That is the 9th question. Find out the odd one with respect to double carboxylation. Please teach human health and diseases. Slowly and gradually we'll cover everything. But it is just few days now. First thing, I have taken this chapter of photosynthesis. So once I know that you are understanding everything very clearly, then slowly and gradually we'll increase the number of classes, maybe the hours. But for that, I need to know that the way I teach, you are able to understand it. Okay, you have to find the odd one with respect to double carboxylation. I got the answer from Rahul, that is B. This is our 9th question. Divya, hello. Why have you joined so late? Good morning, good afternoon. Sonal says C. Kalai says C. Divya says C again. Alright, so the odd one is to be found. Now double carboxylation is the key, or rather the clue. Double carboxylation means there are two places where carbon dioxide is getting added, and this happens in C4 and CAM. So Z-maize, that is maize, is a C4 plant. In Euphorbia, we know it is CAM. Amaranthus is C4 plant. Pisum sativum is the only C3 plant, and all others are going to show 2 times carboxylation. First time it is PE phosphoenol pyruvate, which is going to accept it, and then ultimately RuBP. So one with the help of enzyme PEPCO and other with the help of RuBisco. Double carboxylation refers to 2 times addition of carbon dioxide. So first it is PEP accepting it. So say if it is phosphoenol pyruvate, it accepts carbon dioxide, oxaloacetic acid is formed. In CAM, this is converted into malic acid and stored, right? And in case of, this is in case of CAM. And same thing happens, phosphoenol pyruvate and carbon dioxide into oxaloacetic acid converted into malic acid, and then it is sent into bundle sheath cells where malic acid dissociates into pyruvate and carbon dioxide, and this carbon dioxide is taken or accepted by RuBP. So 2 times there is addition of carbon dioxide. Alright, this is another question. Now this is a diagram based, there is a figure which is given to you, and in the figure you can find some A, B, C written. You have to identify what this A, B and C are. Kashish Raj has also joined. Okay, so we are on our 10th question. See which option you think is the most appropriate for A, B and C in the given figure. What is shown here is actually C4. There is something happening in mesophyll cells, there is something happening in bundle sheath cells, and you have to fill those boxes which have A, B and C written. The words are like fixation, carboxylation, decarboxylation. Okay, I got one answer. Rahul says C. Anyone else? Any other answer? Srinath says B. Hiren says C. Sonal says C. Any other answer? Millie says C. Manvendra says D. Srinath has given B. Okay, let us see what is happening here. Kalai says B and Sridhar says C, Srinath says B. Okay, let us see what is happening actually in these boxes. This bicarbonate ion is accepted by phosphoenol pyruvate. So phosphoenol pyruvate is actually going to take this bicarbonate, okay? And then a 4-carbon compound is formed, oxaloacetic acid. This oxaloacetic acid is actually has accepted that carbon, and 3 carbon with 1 carbon you have 4-carbon compound. That means carbon has been fixed. So first word should be fixation. Here the 4-carbon acid is dissociating into a 3-carbon compound and 1 carbon dioxide is released. So addition of carbon dioxide is carboxylation. Release of carbon dioxide should be decarboxylation. And then what is happening here? This phosphoenol pyruvate, this pyruvic acid comes here, pyruvic acid, and then this phosphoenol pyruvate is regenerated. So third word should be regeneration. So the correct answer is 2, combination 2. Okay, so those who found it difficult, what is happening? We are not talking about the compound which is formed, we are talking about the process that is taking place in this particular figure. So is this part clear? Is this clear to everyone? Those who said carboxylation, decarboxylation and reduction. Alright, let us come to the next question, and this question appeared in pre-medical entrance exam. It was called AIPMT then, this was in 2010. Now let me see if you are able to answer this question. And I have taken purposefully some questions from previous year's exams. And the reason is, when you are able to answer the questions which have appeared in the previous year exams, that gives you a little more confidence. Okay, so answer this question. Read the following 4 statements A, B, C, D and select the right option having both correct. So out of these 4, 2 statements are correct. You have to pick which 2 statements are correct. Z scheme of light reaction takes place in presence of PS1 only. Only PS1 is functional in cyclic photophosphorylation. Cyclic photophosphorylation results into synthesis of ATP and NADPH2. Stroma lamellae lack PS2 as well as NADP. So which option do you think has both the statements correct? Do we have a class at 12:30 today? Yes, we do. We do have a class. Mir Bahar has given A answer, that is statement A and B. Karthik has given B, that is B and C option. Kalai has given D. Out of the 4 statements, we have to pick 2 statements which are correct. So what we can do is we can read the statements and find out whether they are correct or not. Let us read the first statement. Z scheme. Z scheme is another name for non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So in non-cyclic photophosphorylation, how many photosystems participate? Both. So this statement is wrong. Only PS1 is functional in cyclic photophosphorylation because the electron comes back and it starts with PS1, only one. So this is the correct statement. Cyclic photophosphorylation results in ATP and NADPH2, no, because the major pathway is non-cyclic, which gives us ATP and NADPH2, whereas cyclic gives us only ATP. So this is also wrong. Stroma lamellae, they have only PS1, they lack PS2, and in stroma lamellae, if you remember the location of PS2 and PS1, we said PS2 is present in the appraised part. and PS1 is present in non-appressed part and stromal lamellae. So this is correct. Stromal lamellae have only PS1. So which option says B and D? This one. So this is correct. So Kalai has given answer D, Rahul has D, Sridhar is writing B. No, Sridhar, it is D option, B statement and D statements. These are correct statements. Okay, let us take one more question. This is our question number 12. The law of limiting factor of photosynthesis was given by, straight question, direct question. Rahul has given the answer D. Kalai says D. It is a direct question. The scientist's name is asked, who gave this law of limiting factor? D. Reshma also says. And this is correct because this law is also known as Blackman's law of limiting factor. Alright, so this was again an easy and a direct question. One more. This is our 13th question. The isotope of carbon used extensively in study of photosynthesis. This I told you when we were talking about Kelvin cycle, how Kelvin found out that which carbon compound is formed next. B, C14, C14, B, okay. So the correct answer is C14, B. This was also direct and a very easy question. Alright, 14th question. This was the easiest of all, I agree. Alright, let us take 14th question. Wavelength of light responsible for emerson's enhancement effect. Emerson's enhancement effect. What was Emerson's enhancement effect? Question 14, answer is D according to Karthik. Emerson's enhancement effect was when the rate of photosynthesis went up. And when was this seen? When lower and higher wavelengths were given simultaneously, that is both more than 680 and slightly lower than 680. Our red drop effect is different. Red drop is after red wavelength, there was a sudden decline in rate of photosynthesis. Emerson's enhancement effect was when he exposed to lower wavelength, that is below 680, and then he exposed above 680. He found that in first case some photosynthesis took place, in second case some photosynthesis took place, but when both were given, the rate of photosynthesis was higher. So here answer is D. Okay, we will take one more question. This is 15th question, and here we have to pick the order in which the rate of photosynthesis would take place. Various wavelengths are given, in which wavelength maximum and then in which wavelength less. Red, blue, yellow, green, various colors are given. You have to find in which particular combination. Reshma says B, Karthik says B, Kalai says C, Srinath says C. Now I know why some people have given the answer as B. When we make made or plotted that graph, the graph was absorption and action spectrum like this. So this was VIB GYOR, right? Now, though absorption in blue is more, but red wavelength is more effective in bringing about photosynthesis. So it is going to be red first, followed by blue, then yellow and orange. Okay, so the correct answer is C in this case. Don't go by this peak. Maximum absorption is of B, but the rate of photosynthesis is in R. Alright, now I had actually picked few more questions for you, and what I'm going to do is I'll just show these questions, and after the class is over, these questions will be available to you as PDF. So you can, this is, if you install the app, all these things will be available for you. And there are some people who have the habit of taking the screenshots. So there are some questions, you can see those questions, take the screenshots, or maybe I'll share this PDF on the channel, on Telegram basically. Then probably you'll get these questions also, and do these or solve these questions as your homework. Okay? So I had actually picked 25 questions. I thought we will be able to cover more, but that's fine. So what I have understood from the questions which we discussed in the class, that most of you understood the concept and the chapter photosynthesis very well. Now from tomorrow we are going to start a new chapter, that is respiration in plants, or which is known as cellular respiration. And after the class, all these PPTs or PDFs which we make, they are available on the app. So for that you need to subscribe to the app. So don't forget to do that. Go for the subscription, take the plan, because today is the only day when you can take advantage of this lower price. And don't forget to use the code so that you get this 10% discount. Okay, so I'll see you in the next class, and hopefully all those who have joined me for the first time today, they will also be there, okay, for other classes. So till that time, take care, and don't forget to complete those questions which I have given towards the end of the lecture. All right, so I'll see you in the next class. Bye bye, take care.